This is James F. Wilson. He is a Republican, and he had a very fruitful career. James F. Wilson, he pioneered the federal civil rights protections. He was key in forming back then it was called the Iowa Republican Party. Today we know it as the Iowa Caucus. And most importantly, when it came down to deciding citizenship for newly freed slaves, he held a very important role in writing the Citizenship Clause. So I'm going to take you over to the Internet Archives and we are going to learn some really, really juicy information here. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Right here. And this is it. This is so juicy right here, honey. Big Mama gonna always do it, okay? I could bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never let you forget that you are a man because I am a woman, okay? And I got it going on. I got it right here. That's all we need. The Supreme Court, they can go back and forth and they can act confused and the Democrats can act confused, but this is the Internet Archive and they are undefeated. Now I'm going to bring you to the Citizenship Clause because this is all I want to. This is what's up for debate right now, and so I'm just going to read this quick little section, and you're going to get it. You're going to know who you are. You're going to know who you're not. You're going to know why they came up with the Citizenship Clause, and you're going to know that applying the Citizenship Clause to illegal aliens, the way that Congress has been doing, has been a complete lie. So here we go. Political interpretations. And if I skip over a word, it's because it's a typo. Political interpretations of the meaning and purpose of that instrument. But it is not my purpose to enter upon the held of discussion here suggested. He was talking about slavery. It would serve no present practical purpose. I am content to take and use the facts as I find them, letting our inconsistencies relative to slavery in a republic keep their hiding places in the past while we turn our attention to things which concern us now. And isn't that the same position Republicans take today, right? As far as they're concerned, hey, we stepped in, we ended it, not our fault, right? During the progress of the War of the Rebellion, steps were taken to abolish slavery. All of the states had resumed their proper positions as members of the Union. Slavery had disappeared, and a new complication presented itself to many minds. The slaves were free. There were several millions of them. Were they citizens? I do not doubt they were. At the time referred to, I did not doubt that they were native born citizens. But there was some confusion of belief on this point. It was determined to settle the question. It was settled by the adoption of an amendment to the Constitution, which, among other things, provides that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside. So you see, they were people who didn't believe that we were native born. Then you had people probably saying, they brought different people, they brought some Africans, they brought a few people over here from here and there. Who's to determine who's native born and who's not? And then you probably had people who just didn't want to acknowledge the fact that we were native born. Then you had Walter Placard who had paper genocided us by reclassifying us. So they didn't want to dig through all of that. They just didn't want to do the work. So they decided to settle that question of who we were as citizens by putting this clause in. This is what gave us our birthright. This what gave the descendants the babies, right, their freedom and their citizenship. And that's why this was even written, because they were confused over who we were. They were confused about, oh, well, are they native born? It says right here, I do not doubt that they were. At the time referred to, I did not doubt that they were native born citizens. But there was some confusion of belief on this point. So they settled the question by writing this clause. This has nothing to do, this has nothing to do with anybody else other than us. And this is 100% proof of that, because this is the conversation that's going on, and this was their response. This was their solution to the problem that they were having in their confusion of just, letting us be native born citizens. Out of that confusion came this clause. But the topic of discussion was us. And you can go back and read this. This talks a lot about allegiance, having allegiance to the country, right? And being under the jurisdiction.